Here we go now with the Rays. They made that trade with the Dodgers, of course. They got some people back they're high on, gave up Glasnow. Erik Neander is the president, baseball operations down in Tampa. They continue to try to piece together these ball clubs, and they're good every year. And he says, hello, Erik, welcome, happy holidays. Good to have you with us here. I know you're high on the Dodger, one of those pitchers that you got back who had some success last year. He's 26 years of age, but you have some high thoughts with him that he can be a middle-of-the-rotation starter. Let's start there. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, thanks for having me, and back to you. And yeah, Ryan Pepiot is somebody that we like quite a bit. Have long appreciated this stuff, saw some improvement in his command and strike throwing late last year once he was back after missing some time with injury, and believe he's somebody that sooner rather than later should be a fixture in our rotation and stay there for a while.
Yeah, listen, and it helps with Friedman, and I think that was a good trade, and obviously Glasnow's been hurt a lot, and you're not going to spend a fortune on him here down the road. When you look to well, let's first do the postseason last year. You know, a lot of the theory is that the Rays are great in the regular season because the interchangeable parts in your roster from 1 to 35 to 40 is always good, but the great player carries you in the postseason, and the Rays have had trouble in the postseason last 2-3 years. Do you buy that theory, that analysis, or not?
Yeah, look, until you win one, I think you're going to leave yourself open for the criticisms and the thoughts and the feedback on why you haven't won one. And look, we've been fortunate to get to a World Series twice, dating back to 2008. We've had a lot of postseason trips, 5 in a row here, much to be proud of. And I think it stands up well, but we've also had a lot of early exits, and certainly in this new wild card round, going 0 for 2 this year, 0 for 2 last year, not a whole lot of fun. And it'd be easy to sit here and say, well, it's 2 games, anything can happen. And I suppose to some degree that is true in baseball, as you and I and everybody knows, but also want to be careful not to make excuses with that. So like, until we get one, we gotta live with that and ask a lot of those questions ourselves, and give it a shot again in 2024.
Erik, you take some solace in the idea that the Rangers went from you to beat the Orioles and won the World Series?
No. I mean, happy for him. It's a good group. You know, it's I suppose it makes it a little bit easier, but to host, to have a couple games at home against them, flying across the country, thought we were well positioned to play good baseball. We just didn't get it done. But certainly, losing to the eventual champion, it's worth something. But I think, however you get knocked out at that point, it's difficult. And like I said, we just got to try to do this again a little bit better next year.
I know it's a lot of legal issues and you really can't comment, but are you going to try to plan next year that you do or do not have Wander Franco on your team?
Yeah, I think right now, not a whole lot that we can say about it, other than much like injuries, the players that are active and healthy right now are those we're going to count on until things change.
All right, so in other words, we can't assume that necessarily. Need a big middle of the order bat would be nice. What's the number one concern right now with this Tampa team? I know you got a lot of pitching injuries, McClanahan, and who knows when you're going to get a couple of the guys back who had injury, Springs and folks like that in the middle of the year. What's the biggest emphasis right now the next 6 weeks before spring training? Is it to edify the pitching rotation, or is it to help the offense? What's the main goal?
I think right now it's pitching. We've been fortunate to have a lot of talented arms over the years, and see it in a similar way right now, but we do have some injuries, and those are some, we're going to have to continue to strengthen that side of the ball. I think our offense, the group as a whole, took a sizable step forward last year, scoring 860 runs or thereabouts, if I'm not mistaken. The power was up. Some guys that can put the ball in play, do different things. So feel pretty good about what we're returning offensively. Frankly, feel pretty good about what we're returning, period. Winning the 99 games with a lot of things last year that could have gone wrong, went wrong, puts us in a good spot. But you can never have enough pitching. And if I said anything else, I think Cashy would get on me as soon as this is over.
There were a lot of rumors last year, and it made some sense just for a rental. Did you talk to the Angels in, say, July to see if you can figure out a way to get Ohtani for a couple of months to make a big postseason run? Did that conversation occur?
Yeah, when we look back to July and, Shane and Glasnow and just where our team was. Zach Eflin, what he had been doing. Our position player group was in a strong spot. Our bullpen was in a strong spot. But I think safe to say that any impact player last deadline that was available, we thoroughly explored it and ended up going with more or less the team that we had. But yeah, look, when you're in positions where you're winning a lot of baseball games, you never want to take it for granted. And if there are really, really good players, impactful players available, it's our job to figure out if there's a way to make that work.
You guys do a tremendous job every year. You find players, you take some chances, it always works out. Right now, with where you stand, is there a better opportunity in your eyes to make the team better via a trade, or is there a better chance to make the team better? Now, I know you don't give up anything with a free agent, but, you give up money, and in Ray's case, you can't make a mistake there. Is there a better opportunity to improve the team via free agency? Which one is it?
I think right now we're pretty good with the team that we have, always looking for pitching. I think it's probably more likely to come through the trading market and having conversations there to see if we can better balance our club and so on. But we're open-minded. I think at this point we do believe we're going to have a really good club, and just about any avenue to pursue it, want to make sure we leave those doors open. So there's still a lot of trade conversations that we're having, but any way we can help our club get better now and over the next several years, we're going to be involved in that, and that's with other teams, and that's also free agents.
And the American League East is going to be obviously the Yankees with Soto. We'll find out where Yamamoto goes here down the road. Red Sox are going to spend some money. The Orioles are a good team. They made that new deal with the state of Maryland, which will help them a little bit. This has obviously always been Toronto is a factor. And to be this good this many years in a row in your market with your payroll is tremendous. Can you keep it going? Let me hear your thoughts there.
We're stubborn, naive enough to believe we can, and we're going to do our best. So for a long time now, it's been an incredible division. The last several years, it feels like it's gotten that much stronger, and perhaps looking to 2024 might be the best that it's ever been, top to bottom. So nothing new. The players changed, but the challenges of competing in this division and win, and to win it, it's always daunting. It's always going to be there, and there's a lot about that we enjoy. And maybe we beat each other up a bit too much come postseason. It's been that way lately with the AL East. I think dropping 11 in a row, if I'm not mistaken, but. It's a heck of a challenge, and certainly we'll do our best to be ready to take it on again next year.
I know it's a long way off, but that ballpark gives the franchise a little hope, because you're going to move into that ballpark in St. Pete. Maybe you won't be there. You'll be somewhere else. We'll have to wait and see on that. It's 4 or 5 years off, but that is something to look forward to in the Bay Area. How about that quickly before you go?
Yeah, without question, and hopefully we don't screw it up too much before then, and we get to see it through. So, our fan base is growing. It's 25th anniversary this past year. It takes time, especially I think in the state of Florida. You have a lot of people that are coming from all over the country and beyond that settle here, and so I think those roots are taking hold. We've certainly had a lot of success, more regular season than postseason, as you noted earlier. But there's a strong foundation here, and I think having the ballpark plan settled, having our future settled, you'd like to think that it'll help us, level up and get us to a place that allows us a little more maneuverability with the roster, the payroll, and perhaps a chance to hang on to some players longer than we've been fortunate to so far.
Excellent job, Erik. Well done. You have a happy holiday. Thanks for the help. I'm sure you'll be busy here next few weeks. Appreciate a few minutes.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Happy holidays to you and all the listeners.